You stay when it hurts. You put up with more than you should. And then you call that loyalty. That's because deep down there's a part of you that believes that suffering means devotion. And I get it. I've been there. I stayed longer than I should have. I thought that suffering showed that I care, and that if I endured that suffering, it just meant that I love really hard. And because of that, I said no to New York Fashion Week. That's not even the wildest part. So let me take you on a little journey of how I finally stopped mistaking suffering for love. Love. It will have you calling some wild stuff loyalty. Story time. One of my good friends was showing at New York Fashion Week, and she invited me to go with her. The shows, the parties, the whole thing. And I said no, because this person that I was kinda, maybe, not really, perhaps seeing might text me. We had broken up shortly before New York Fashion Week invitation came up, but it was one of those dynamics that you are on and off, and when you're off, you're just like waiting for them to text you. That midday or late night text will just have you on standby, and your nervous system is all fried because you don't know how to feel other than relief or anxiety, both. Yeah, that kind of dynamic. That's what I was waiting for. And mind you, that person was already seeing someone else. So there's that. But I thought that once they found out that I stayed, like I actually said no to New York Fashion Week and stayed in town to be available to them, that they would magically wake up and choose me.
You know what, Renata? You proved yourself.
Let me wife you up right now. And I told myself that I was just really committed. I was just being loyal, but I was really just begging to be chosen. And when I say I stayed and waited, it doesn't mean that I was just bed rotting and moping around. No, that was part of it, but I was also up to some shenanigans, if you will. Like, for example, there was one time that I went to a bakery and I got myself these really fancy, beautiful pastries, and I had some flowers lying around in my apartment already, so I had the idea of setting up this little scene on my coffee table. I lit some candles, I had the roses on there, the pastries, whatever, and I took this photo and I posted it to Instagram, insinuating that someone else had brought me those pastries and the flowers. So yeah, I faked a date in order to get a reaction from that person.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
While I was waiting for the reaction that may or may not come, I would sit there and try to craft the perfect response for when they finally texted me. And I wanted this response to be just the right cocktail of words that would make me sound casual, but also let them know that I was hurting really badly, and therefore make them feel bad for hurting me, but also would make them want me back. Yeah, I don't know. Meanwhile, my friend is at Fashion Week posting about it, and of course I was hyping her up. I was so happy for her and proud of her. But internally, I was feeling so much FOMO and so much resentment, not at my friend, but at myself. But most importantly, I was resentful at that person, as if they had told me to stay. No, I chose that. I chose to stay behind. I chose to stay small. I chose to abandon myself. I did that. And you want to know how long it took for them to text me? Over a week. I actually think it was closer to 10 days. I could have gone to New York Fashion Week, had the time of my life, supported my friend, came back, and nothing would have happened or changed. And when they texted, there was no, I miss you, I want to see you. No. They said, hey. H-E-Y, period. And I crumbled.
You are going to pretend we didn't hear that.
I sat there looking at that word like it was a goddamn love letter, just attaching so much meaning behind that one word, and it didn't mean anything. It felt like such a relief to get that one word, and of course I responded. But here's the thing about all of that. Acting that way, behaving in such a manner, wasn't something that I did because I thought it was funny or fun or because I thought it was the best way to go about it. No, I did it because it was the only thing I knew to do. That was what was normal for me, because that was something I learned. It was a pattern. And I can trace it back to exactly where it started. When you're a kid, you don't know that you're adapting or developing some toxic behavior, right? You do what works. And when I was 3 years old, one of my parents left. They came back after a few months, but it was super jarring for me. And every time after that, whenever they would pack a suitcase to go on some work trip, which happened quite often, I would panic. Like, legitimately, I would get physically ill. I wasn't faking it. I was actually getting sick. Tummy ache, infected throat, a crying that would not stop, just like throwing up, the works. And that parent would lean in and give me some more reassurance, give me some extra affection, some extra love, because of all that distress I was in. And somewhere in my tiny little 3-year-old body, I learned that if I show my suffering, if I display all of this distress, I'll get the results that I want, which is more love, more attention. And that worked for me back then. But it also followed me into adulthood. That became super ingrained in me. And by the time that I was in that situation as an adult, it was all I knew. So yeah, of course I thought, that's just who I am. That's just my personality. And sitting at home, waiting for a text and waiting for someone that wasn't coming, and then showing that suffering, that just felt normal. Performing my pain, performing my suffering, and being like, look how much I'm hurting and look how much I'm enduring this hurt. That's how much I love you. Just fucking choose me already. That, I thought, was proof that I loved hard and I cared a lot and that I was so committed. Like I called it loyalty, commitment, perseverance. But underneath it all, I was still just a little kid, scared, and doing whatever she thought would get her the results that she wanted, which was love and to be chosen. It was a pattern, and patterns are not identity, which means they can be unlearned. Understanding that it was a pattern changed everything, and it's like it opened up so many doors for me, because I finally realized I wasn't just stuck being that way and acting that way. It gave me agency that I actually didn't know I had. I didn't know that I could just pause and choose differently. And I know that sounds obvious, but when you're so used to doing something, when you believe that it's just who you are, it sounds simple, and it is, but it's not always easy. It is a process of rewiring how you interact with people. Now that I interrupt that pattern whenever I see it come up, I don't negotiate suffering. I don't negotiate with myself about staying in dynamics that make me feel like that's what I have to do. When something feels off, I don't sit there trying to earn love anymore. In fact, I tell myself the truth, like, hey, this isn't love. This is fear. It's an old pattern coming back up. It's little Renata who's still acting like she thought she needed to. And once I see it for what it is, it's like the spell breaks. I stop proving myself, I stop begging, I stop abandoning myself just so I can be chosen, maybe. And I stop advertising my suffering like this weird badge of honor. And there is a lot of freedom in that, because I choose myself automatically. And like I said, it's not easy. There's still a tiny little bit of me that flinches when I do that. But the pattern is broken. And that has changed everything for me. That's all to say that you're not your patterns. You're not stuck just like that. Patterns is something we learn, and they can be unlearned. But no, I'm not sitting here saying that it's easy, because it's not. I'm saying that it's doable. And that can change everything. And if this story hit a little bit too close to home and it feels like this clarity is a little too real, I hope you stay, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.